Nina Carmichael, and we make these videos because you're probably the most ambitious person in your circle, but you know you're capable of more, and you need that push by surrounding yourself with the best. So today, let's learn from one of the best, my husband Evan Carmichael, and learn that you need to stop doing the same things and expect different results. Enjoy. Okay, let's kick it off with rule number 1. Radically change your life.
To change your life, you have to be willing to change your actions. The definition of insanity is doing the same thing over and over and over again and expecting a different result. If you want to change your life, you want to be in a different spot, you have to be doing different things. Now, if you love your life, great, don't change anything. Or you love pieces of your life, don't change anything about those pieces. But if you are not happy with where you are at, you must be willing to do different things. Otherwise, you will stay stuck forever. I was doing an Instagram live yesterday with a young entrepreneur. He wants to be a speaker and he wants to share his message, and he's constantly facing self-doubt and fear and insecurity, and nobody's watching the stories, and he's not good enough, and who am I to share a message? And in our IG live, one of the things he said was, well, I'm not comfortable doing that. We're talking about making content. Some days he's on top of the world and it feels great, and other days he's not, and he doesn't feel comfortable getting in front of the camera. And he started going off and telling me a story. Like, stop right there. When you say, I'm not comfortable doing that, we have to identify that as a trigger to go. Saying, I'm not comfortable doing that. Now, if it's against your values, I get it, right? You're not comfortable. I'm at Costco right now. Nina's going shopping in there. I'm not comfortable robbing Costco. Perfect, okay? That's outside my value system. That's totally different. Most of the things that you're not comfortable doing are failing in front of other people. At the end of the day, that's what it is. You're afraid of being judged. And so we're not comfortable doing that thing. You'll fail if nobody else sees it, if it's just you, but you don't want to fail in front of other people. And that can no longer be a good enough reason, because if you only do, think about this, if you only do what's comfortable, you stay in your comfort zone. If you only do what's comfortable, you stay in your comfort zone. And therefore, you hate your life. Because if all you did was wake up and do what's in your comfort zone, do what is known, do what is comfortable, do what you've always done, you're going to hate your life. And this becomes the curse of a lot of entrepreneurs, is you know you're capable of more, you know you want to do more, you know you have more in your heart to go off and serve. You want that. You can see it, you can touch it, you can taste it, you can visualize. It's like, I want to be there. I want to do that, right? Has that happened to you? Can that relate to you? You know you want more, but you're afraid to go off and do it, and you fall back down to comfort. At least consistently. You might have these moments of greatness and boldness and willingness to go do something, but we fall back down to comfort. And if you stay in comfort, you will never accomplish your great goals, because everything you want out of life is on the other side of your comfort zone. Everything you want out of life. All your big goals, your big dreams, your big ambitions, your mission, the life that you want is on the other side of your comfort zone. And so I had to stop him when he was talking to me on the Instagram Live, because it doesn't matter if you're not comfortable doing it. It's actually the opposite. Because you are uncomfortable doing it, now you have to do it. Because you need to train yourself that you do uncomfortable things. The fact that you have accepted being uncomfortable as a good enough reason to stop is the big problem. I don't care what other story you're gonna tell me afterwards. I had to stop the conversation at that moment, because I could not allow him to continue with the mindset of, I'm uncomfortable, so I'm going to stop. And we all have these words that we tell ourselves, and we all have these stories that we come back to as to why we're not able to take action. And the problem is we believe those things, and you need to catch them, and you need to root them out. And so for him, that was the big aha moment, that he needs to get uncomfortable. And it doesn't sound like a big deal, right? Like, oh, of course you got to get uncomfortable. But what is the thing that you're telling yourself as to why you're not winning, as to why you can't follow through, as to why you can't do the thing? And when somebody else shines a light on it, it's like, it seems so obvious And yet this is the thing that has been holding you back and keeping you stuck. So I told him, anytime you hear yourself say, this makes me uncomfortable. Again, as long as it's not against your value system, right? This makes me feel uncomfortable. Use it as a trigger to go forward. Enlist your family. He's newly married. Enlist your wife. Enlist your parents. Enlist your siblings. Anytime somebody hears you say, that makes me feel uncomfortable, that's a trigger. Go. Have them hold you accountable. Said, you just said it again. Now you got to go do that thing. As long as it's not against your value system, right? For me, it's scary, difficult, and hard. I would accept scary, difficult, or hard as good enough reasons for me not to go off and do the thing that I wanted to do. I want to make videos. Oh, that's scary. Like, oh, okay, I can't do it. I've just accepted scary as a good enough reason. And so if I never do things that are scary, I will never accomplish my big goals. When I was thinking about doing my tour in 2019, when we hit 23 cities, 90 days, I thought that was too difficult. Like I was afraid to get on stage, and here I am now facing my fear every 4 days in a new city. I've never done a tour. And instead of just doing a small tour of 3 cities or something, like 23 cities, 90 days, a quarter of the year on the road straight with my wife and my cameraman. Okay, let's go. Because I do difficult things. Because I want to train myself that I do difficult things. Because again, my dream life is on the other side of me doing difficult things. If I only do what's easy, I'm going to eventually hate my life. This is where we get stuck. When you do something that's easy and you win a little ribbon or an award, right? You run a race against 3-year-olds and you win. Congratulations, amazing, you won. And you could post about it on Instagram and you had this little moment of accolade, but you don't actually feel good about yourself because you didn't do anything difficult, because that was easy for you. The self-love, self-confidence, self-respect comes from doing difficult things, uncomfortable things, scary things, hard things. The willingness to show up even if you don't win. Because it's difficult and challenging, that's how you ultimately will win in life and start to accomplish your goals. And so most people are photocopying their lives. This is where most people are stuck. You're photocopying your life. Today look the same as yesterday, look the day as the day before, same as the day before. It's why most people do not like their life. It's why most people drive to a job that they hate. They're driving to a job that they hate. Most people wake up, look at all these cars here. Most people here in this parking lot, they're waking up every day and driving to a job that they hate. They do not like their life. Most of the people who are telling you what you should do with your life do not like their own life. And so the answer is to catch your trigger words. So I call them play bigger triggers. What's a play bigger trigger? What are your trigger words? What do you say? Think about one of your goals. Think about what's on your list of to-dos. Think about where you want to be. What do you have to get done? What's one of your most important goals right now that you've been procrastinating on? What have you been delaying on? There's something. Everybody's got something. What's a goal of yours that you've been sitting on? And then what's the voice in your head that's giving you an acceptable reason for you not to do the thing? Now try to get to the reason behind the reason. So example, somebody wants to make YouTube videos. I want to be a thought leader. I have a message in my heart. I want to get it out to the world. Awesome. What's the reason why you're telling yourself you can't do it? Like, oh, well, I don't have the time. I don't have the camera. I don't have the gear. I don't have the microphone. I don't know what to say. All of those are the practical reasons, right? Those are not the real reasons. The real reason is buried underneath the practical reasons. Why do you think that having the right camera and microphone is going to be the difference? Well, because you're actually afraid of judgment. You're afraid that people are going to watch it. We're afraid of when people won't watch it. And what does that mean? That you suck. And that people will watch it and laugh at you or criticize you for having a bad phone, bad camera, bad microphone, or they can't hear you or whatever else. Like, you're afraid of judgment. Underneath the reason of I don't have a good enough camera, microphone, etc., is just fear. And the fear specifically is judgment. So think about your own goals. What do you want to do? What have you been delaying on? What have you been procrastinating on? What's the reason you're telling yourself? The logical one, the one that you're buying. And then what's the reason underneath the reason? What's the actual reason? And that's your trigger. So if it's fear of judgment, if it's fear of failure, if it's fear of not being good enough, if it's fear of being an imposter, if it's fear of being uncomfortable, whatever your actual fear is, that's your trigger. And that is holding you back, not just in this one goal, but in life, in everything, in all your goals. It's the reason why you're not taking action across all your goals. And so now when you can catch it and then take the action to say, I am the person who does difficult things. I am the person who gets uncomfortable. I am the person who's going to change my actions because that's the only way I'm going to get the life that I want. When you can catch it specifically, it shortcuts the brain. Because at least for me, and I've seen it work for many other people, when you've accepted comfort, for example, as a reason why you can't take action, and then you hear yourself say, well, that makes me uncomfortable. Now you have to do it. You just have to do it. You take the brain out of the equation. Now the reasons don't matter. You said uncomfortable, so now I have to go and do it, period.
Rule number 2, try different things.
There's a reason why in my videos I say you have Michael Jordan level talent. I believe it. It's true. You have Michael Jordan level talent at something. You are the best, the absolute best at something in the world. Most people, either one, don't believe it. They don't believe that they're world class at something. Or two, they found the thing that they could be world class at, but they don't have enough guts to chase it down. They don't believe in themselves enough to chase it down. Here's the thing. You need to first explore. You need to explore. You got to search. You got to say yes. You got to try things. You don't know that Tim Hortons is your favorite coffee cup until you've tried it, right? You don't know that sushi is your favorite food until you've tried it. Sushi doesn't make sense, right? This is how we think. Our logical brain starts to analyze things, and because it doesn't make sense, we don't try it. Sushi doesn't make sense. You're going to take raw fish, mix it with rice, put seaweed around it, and then eat it. That sounds nasty, right? If you've never tried it before, it sounds nasty, but it's the best. A lot of the things that you might be great at, you are judging, you are dismissing because it doesn't make logical sense. You don't need to wrap your head around it. You need to wrap your heart around it. You have to feel it. You have to say yes and be willing to try it at least once. If you don't know what you're great at, you have to say yes and try things. And you pay attention to the feeling. The most important thing is you pay attention to the feeling. How did it make you feel? You might not be great at it. I expect not to get results at the beginning of anything, especially if it's a new skill you're learning, right? Expect to suck at the beginning. You're gonna suck. It's okay, it's normal. But how does it make you feel? Does it energize you? Do you wanna come back and do it again? And so for me, in helping entrepreneurs, I had my first speaking gig in Canada at a local YMCA. And I just sold my business, young entrepreneur success story. I was 22 years old, and I'm speaking at the YMCA, and they book off this big room for me, and they have an entrepreneurship program, and they say, hey, can you come and speak to our entrepreneurs? Yes. You know, I'm pumped. I don't know what to do next with my life anyway, because I just sold my company, and I want to get back and help. So yes, let me come and do it. And I prepare for 2 weeks making my presentation, and they're promoting it to their audience for 2 weeks. And then I get to the building, and my palms are a little bit sweaty, and I'm nervous, my heart's beating, and get up the elevator, walk to the door, and my heart stops for a second because I look into this big room and only 3 people showed up. 3 people to a free event. And in my head, I'm thinking, how am I ever gonna turn this into a business, right? How will I ever turn this thing into a business if I can only get 3 people to show up to a free thing with a partner? But I did my presentation anyway, I prepared, I didn't wanna let these 3 people down. And it was the best. It filled me up so much knowing that I helped these 3 people out. I can't tell you how great I felt. And then we went to the coffee shop after and continued talking throughout the rest of the night. And I knew that I had to find a way to keep going even though it made no logical sense. And here I am. I'm 39 now. I was 22, right? Still doing what I'm doing, just on a bigger level. I could not tell you that I would be here. I had no idea what it would look like. You need to wrap your heart around it. You need to try. You need to first start by believing that you have Michael Jordan level talent at something, that you can be the greatest in the world at something. You can be it. And whatever lifts you up on a daily basis, you need to believe it. You need to understand. You need to see it every day, because a one-off day is not enough. And if that means you're watching one of these videos, is why I made this channel. If this video helps you, great, subscribe and watch the other videos. Or if it's somebody's podcast, or doing an act of kindness and holding the door for somebody, or listening to an audio, or reading the book, something, anything, whatever makes you feel like you believe in yourself and your abilities, even though your ideas are really weirdly different compared to what your family wants you to do, right? Chances are the thing that you are Michael Jordan at is not what your family wants you to do. Because your parents probably aren't Michael Jordan at what they did, right? They settled. And their advice, therefore, is to have you settle as well. No. Not gonna fly. I got Michael Jordan level talent at something, I'm gonna figure it out. And so whatever gets you into that mindset of believing it, you need to be around daily. You need it. You need a part of your morning routine. Whatever that thing is has to be in your morning routine, because if you wake up and did the thing that made you feel confident, made you feel bold, made you feel alive every single day, man, your life is going to be dramatically different. It just will. There's no chance you're the same person in a year. There's no chance you're in the same situation in a year. No chance. Not if you wake up and felt bold, did the thing that made you feel bold. You won't wake up and naturally feel bold. You have to inject something in. What is the thing that makes you feel bold, and doing that every single morning? It will change your life. And then when you find the thing that you have potential at, that energizes you, that you love, you go all in on it. You spend more time doing it. You invest in yourself to potentially become the best in the world. I wasn't a natural speaker. I wasn't a great speaker. It took me 6,000 videos to get to where I'm at right now. A lot of speaking, a lot of practicing, a lot of coaching. You can get great at anything. It's just a skill set. You can learn any skill set, but the thing that will give you the drive to learn the skill set to be the best is the love of the game, of the craft, of the thing. And it all starts from you deciding that you are Michael Jordan at something.
Also, if you want to have more self-confidence and self-belief, the science says it can take up to 254 days of consecutive action for you to shift that habit forward. So I've designed a special free program to help you get more self-belief for every day. For 254 days, I will send you an email to an unlisted video that, if you watch it, will shift your confidence forward. The links to join for free are in the description below.
You have to enjoy what you're doing. You have to wake up and look forward to the day that is ahead.
Dramatically improve the chance of you getting your deal. They'll look over your proposal. They will give you feedback, suggestions, how to tweak your proposal. If you've never done it before, and I'm going through this process right now,
we need to stop using weak language and pay attention to the words that you're speaking to others and to yourself.
Rule number 3, treat money as a tool.
Most people grow up with an unhealthy view of money. Some people think that money is everything, that the next person you see, the next customer you talk to, that's your next suit, that's your next car. And other people think that money is the root of all, right? Or the love of money is the root of all evil, right? To make money, you're evil, you're slimy, you're gross, you're ripping people off. Most people grow up in one of those two camps. That's the lesson that's been taught you by your parents. The truth is, money is just a tool. Money is an amazing tool that lets you accomplish amazing things. And if you are an entrepreneur and want to have success, making money has to be in your top 5 list of priorities. If it is not in your top 5, then you're not making money. But it can't be number 1. Money can't be your number 1 priority. There has to be something that is more important than it, and that's your purpose. I don't really usually talk a lot about money on my videos. Maybe I should. Maybe I should talk more about it. I think it's important. I think there's just so much out there that seems to be money, 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 that I'm trying to go against it to say, like, purpose is number 1. You're built to serve. If you're just chasing money, you're never gonna win. I think I see too many entrepreneurs just chasing money, and so a lot of the content that I make is more purpose driven, but there's still, I think, a lot of people who are purpose driven, who've started a business for the right reasons, and they don't know how to make money. And so maybe I need to switch up some of the content that I make as well to help change the perspective around money. My personal view is I hate spending money until I'm making money. I love making money. It's not number 1, right? Serving, believing entrepreneurs is number 1. But again, it's in the top 5, because if I didn't make money, I wouldn't have a team. I wouldn't have people to help me make this video. It'd be me by myself trying to put together one piece of content, a week or maybe a day, just, filming by myself. But instead, I have this team of people who I'm super appreciative of, and I can afford that because I'm making money doing the business that I'm doing, right? It's kind of important. When I look at Jeremy, who I invested into earlier this year. This is a great example of how I like to think, right? So Jeremy runs a YouTube consulting business. I invested into him. I had this dream in the desert. I'm driving through the desert on my tour in March-ish, February, around there, this year, 2019. And I have this idea that Jeremy, I want to start a YouTube consulting business with Jeremy. At the time, Jeremy was working at a grocery store, stocking shelves and checking people out. He asked me a bunch of times whether he could help me in any way, if he could walk my dog or buy groceries or like anything, just to help. And I'm like, I don't need somebody to wash my car or walk my dogs. And so, you know, I said no, but I love his hustle and energy and drive and just personality. And I thought he'd make a great entrepreneur, and he's capable of so much more than just working at a grocery store. And so I had this dream in the desert for some reason. Well, not a dream, I was driving, so I was fully awake. I told Nina, we need to get Jeremy on the line right now. I had this idea, so she messaged him on Facebook, and I said, I need to talk to him right now. And at first he wasn't available. I said, like, you got to get him on the Facebook Live right now. Like, I need to talk to him on the video right now. Because if I waited till tomorrow, I would have pushed it off, right? I got an inspired idea, let's go. And I said, here's this idea I've got. I want to teach you YouTube. I want to have you learn everything that I know about it, and I want to start a YouTube consulting business with you. And here's what you need to do. Are you in? And he said, yeah, I'm in. I want to do it. He didn't really know a ton about YouTube at that point in time, besides coming to my Thought Leadership Academy, I guess the couple months before. And I said, okay, before I come back, I'm going to be home in 2 months. Here's what you need to learn. You need to watch all of these videos where I talked about YouTube. You need to watch these other channels that talk about YouTube. You need to analyze data. You need to come up with suggestions and feedback. And you need to know when I come home, I was 90 days on the road. When I come home, you have to learn and know and understand it. You got to be an expert. And he's great at learning. So I thought he would crush it. Where I thought he might struggle is on the interaction and talking to clients, because he hadn't done that work before. So when I got home, the first step was you're gonna hop on a free call. You're gonna give some free advice to people who've come through the Thought Leadership Academy and do YouTube audits on them. Tell them you're gonna record the call, and then I'm gonna listen in with you afterwards. And he did a great job. I knew he'd be prepared and have the research and know what he's doing, because he studies and he works like nobody else, but I didn't know he'd do so well and actually being able to handle the objections and handle the push and the movement to help them. And he's only gotten better with time too. But this is since we started the business together in April, and he's already building a 6-figure business from a guy who went from stocking shelves to now we're talking about how do we scale it up beyond him. He can only max out a certain number of clients and still serve them properly. Do we bring on somebody else underneath him and just keep increasing the prices? What kind of business did he want to build? 6-figure business, inside of 5 months. It's crazy, right? I mean, maybe not so crazy, but from an idea to action, but didn't spend any money to start it. There were no ads that were taken out. It was just research, hard work, hustle, outreach, telling people he can help them. And it was him reaching out to people who he thought could really benefit, that he had knowledge that could help them, and saying, I'd love to set up a free call with you. And he set up these half-an-hour calls where he was walking through and giving them advice. And he had 3 big ideas for each client. And most people wouldn't then hire him. Like most people who come on a call, they're not going to hire you right away. But you hit a certain percentage, right? And you get better in targeting who you're going to go after and reach. And so now we've built a 6-figure business and plus. Now we're looking at really scaling up for next year. And so having this conversation, I guess, around money and how to build a business quickly without having to spend money, I think is important. And so maybe I'll try to include more of that content. I'd love to know your thoughts. That can be the question of the day. Let me know your thoughts. Do you want more content about making money on the channel? You can let me know in the comments below. But I'm gonna give you a 3-step process that I think will help you. Step number 1 is don't start spending money until you're making it. Don't spend money until you're making it. It's so easy to spend money. This is the thing when I was in venture capital raising money for companies. Everybody just showed how they're gonna spend money, but not how they're gonna make it, right? It's so easy to think about. If I only had $10,000, $50,000, $100,000, whatever, you can go buy all this stuff. Stop thinking about the money you don't have, right? Instead, you think about what you can do with what you do have. What can you use? You're a genius, you're resourceful, you've got ideas. How do you use that creativity? Instead of thinking the biggest problem is money, the problem is not money. The problem is you're not resourceful enough. Go off and solve that problem, right? Jeremy had a budget of 0 and still has a budget of 0 to build his business. And even if you're doing a product, right? You say, well, he's doing a service. Great. Maybe you actually start as a service. Maybe your product idea, you should start as a service to get close to your customers and build a reliable, repeatable income stream. But if you're going to do a product, you pre-sell, right? You pre-sell. You make a mock-up. And if you can't actually make like a mug to show, then you make a design of it, right? You do a mock-up. There's always a smaller way to get started, and you pre-sell. You're not putting enough hustle, energy, heart, dedication into it, and you're blaming lack of money. Too many people, maybe not you, but too many people. That's the problem. Don't spend money until you're making money. It's a great rule to start by. Number 2 is study wealthy people who share the same values as you. This is where it becomes particularly difficult, because you might look at some people who have money, who've made it, and you say, well, that person is such a whatever, right? That person is evil, or that person is whatever. Like, you come up with a story in your mind. And so even if you're looking at YouTube, whether you're looking at my content or Gary or Grant or Tom or Patrick or any of them, Mel, any of the people creating content, think about first, who do you resonate with on values, right? Maybe you love Gary and hate Grant, or maybe you love Grant and you hate Gary, or maybe you love Dan and hate Evan, right? Great, awesome. Go learn from that person. Go learn from that person, because the way that they think about money could be the thing that you need the most. And so surround yourself with them, watch their videos, read their books, go to their events, to see that somebody who has the same values as you can make money, so that it's possible. So that you don't feel like I'm a nice guy or a nice girl and I can never make money because I don't want to rip people off. There's lots of people who are making lots of money and not ripping people off. So find your favorites and model them and be around them and surround yourself with them, if only virtually, like even if you never meet them, if only virtually, so that their way of thinking, their thought process around money starts to seep into you. And step number 3 is understand that money lets you serve. The more money you have, the more you can serve, right? What happens if you're not making money? Then this thing that you love doing, this part, the last section in Built to Serve, if you guys don't have Built to Serve, you can pre-order in the link below. The last section of Built to Serve, the first part is all about finding your purpose, right? You are built to serve. How are you built to serve? The process is in here, right? The last section though is how to turn it into a business. Because if you found your calling, if you found the thing that is your purpose that you want to do for the rest of your life, but you can't turn it into something that's going to pay you, the problem is you're just doing it as a hobby for the rest of your life. And there's nothing necessarily wrong with that. You're still helping, you're still giving, you're still contributing, but you can only do it on the evenings and weekends because you're not making enough money to actually support yourself. So you have to have this job that, you know, maybe you hate, maybe you don't hate, but isn't actually your thing. And then when you get home, the last couple hours of the weekends, those hours you can use to fulfill your purpose. And that's great and that's noble. But what if you could turn your full-time thing into the thing that fulfills your purpose? So that 1, you're happier because you're doing more work on the thing that you love doing, right? But then 2, you can scale it up. You can hire people now. And now instead of just you part-time fulfilling your purpose, you have yourself and a whole team of people, of 10, 100, 1,000 people, all contributing towards your mission, which then allows you to give. Right, at every event that I do, there's always, usually we aim for 10% of people who are in for free, who couldn't afford it, right? So on my tour, when we go on the workshop and the tour, we're doing 20-something cities over almost 90 days. 10% of the room will be free because they can't afford it, because maybe they're homeless. You wouldn't know it. There's a lot of people who are homeless that you would not know are homeless, right? Whenever I do my Thought Leadership Academy in Toronto, it's a I don't know, I forget what the ticket is, a couple thousand to come. There's always somebody in the room who's there on basically a sponsorship, right? It's a I don't want to say donation, it's when you give to education? I don't know. Anyway, we let somebody in for free. Somebody who can't afford it, somebody who I believe in, who I think has a message and will take a lot from this training, and they get in for free. And because I'm making money, that allows me to do that. If I wasn't getting paid at all from any of the people who come out, then I couldn't just do it all for free every time, because then I can't afford a location, I can't afford to have my team members, I couldn't be able to put it together. So understanding, making that shift in your head that money allows you to serve, that the more money you make, the more you can serve, the more you can help people. And if you actually want to fulfill your purpose, then you have to learn how to make money in your business.
Rule number 4, find your drive.
Most people quit on things because they don't have a powerful mission, or they don't know where their drive comes from. Chasing an opportunity isn't enough because you're going up against people who love that thing, who might be willing to die for that thing. If you want to go to Mars, you're competing against Elon Musk, who would die to go to Mars. You better absolutely love it or he's going to crush you. You need to find the thing that you love that does not feel like work. Otherwise, you'll end up working your entire life and hating it. So every Thursday when I'm in Toronto, I do this free event for Toronto entrepreneurs at my dance studio, Toronto Dance Salsa, 5 to 6 p.m. Thursdays when I'm in the city. I do a free event, Q&A session for an hour. Come out, meet me, talk, let's hang out, however I can help, give back to the community and help local entrepreneurs. My Thursdays are bonkers. My Thursdays are all day long interviews, hangouts, podcasts, Skype sessions, one-on-ones. My assistant books them in 25-minute chunks, and I have 25 minutes on, 5-minute break in between. Usually I use that break to get set up for the next one. 25 minutes, 5, 25, 5, 25, 5, the whole day long. And then I end up going to the studio, I record my podcast with Mark Drager. I then do 2 30-minute one-on-ones that we film for the YouTube channel. And then after all of that, I do a 1-hour Q&A for the entrepreneur community. And then after that, I'm doing more meetings with my team. It's crazy. And somebody asked me last Thursday, how do you have the energy for all of that stuff? I love it. Like, I love being there with the people. That group session is the best for me. I love it. I'm not getting paid for it. It's free. It's probably not a great use of my time. If I had to pick for 1 hour, what's the best use of my time? Hang out with startup entrepreneurs, ask me their questions, or do something like write my book or make my next course or something else. It probably doesn't make the most sense, but I love it. And so therefore it makes the most sense, right? And for other people, jumping into my schedule might be torture, and it should be. For me to jump into your schedule should be torture. I should look at your calendar and say, that's ridiculous. How do you have so much energy for all that stuff? And when you jump into mine, it should look the exact same. For me, when I gear up for a Thursday, as an example, when I put my extrovert hat on, I gain energy as the day goes on. I'm not losing energy. By the time I hit 5 o'clock and I'm doing the group session with people, I'm carrying the energy of all the entrepreneurs that I've met on my 25-minute one-on-ones throughout the entire day. I love it. I gain more steam, but most things, ask me to do almost anything else for 8, 10, 12, 14 hours, I would hate my life. Ask me to make coffee for 10 hours a day, I would hate my life. Ask me to play piano, ask me to do almost anything for that amount of time, I would hate my life because it feels like work. And so you have to find the thing that does not feel like work. So then when you go off and do it, it actually gives you energy. So paying attention to the energy, if at the end of every day you're like, oh, this sucks. Like, that's a good signal that you're doing the wrong thing, because you have Michael Jordan level talent at something. You are a genius. You should be crushing it at something. And if the work that you're doing is draining your energy, the people around you are draining your energy, chances are you're in the wrong spot. You're hanging with the wrong people. You're doing the wrong kind of work. And so how do you actually find the right kind of work? I got a process that's going to save you. It's called Who, Why, How. Let's dive into it. Step 1 is your who. Your who is your one word most important core value. And so think about what, if you had one core value, what is it? For me, it's believe. It's a part of everything that I do. Think about who your favorite teacher was growing up. Think about what your favorite song is, your favorite movie. There's connective tissue. There's a value that you have. There's one core value that stands out above all the other ones. I wrote a book on it. It's called Your One Word. Go through the process. It's one of the most important things you can ever do in your life. As soon as you figure out what your one word is, your who, then that shines a light on your life, right? So for me, it's belief. It shines a light on every area of my life, on my business, on my relationships, everything. And if you are not happy, it's because you are living out of alignment with your who. You're living out of alignment with your one word most important core value. If I was unhappy in my life, it's because there's a lack of belief somewhere. With a relationship, in my business, something, there has to be a lack of belief. It's the same thing for you. Alex's one word is belong. Alex helps me run Toronto Dance Salsa. We're changing the whole branding around TDS now to be around belong, because that's his one word, and he's going to bring belongingness. What do we sell at TDS? Not just how to do dance moves. It's belongingness. People lack belongingness and a sense of community. Come to TDS. We'll take care of you. And so what's your one word? What's your most important core value? Most people have no idea what it is, and so you're walking aimlessly through life. Figure this out. It is one of the most important exercises you will ever do in your life. What's your who? Step 2 is your why. Understand that your purpose comes from your pain. The people who go on to do amazing things likely suffered a lot. I've never seen somebody go off and crush it and have amazing results in any area of life without coming from some source of suffering. A lot of pain growing up at some point. Whatever you struggled with, whatever you suffered with, Whatever the most painful moment of your life is, ask yourself, what is the most painful moment of all time in my life? What is that thing? When you figure it out, understand this, your why, your purpose will be, for the rest of your life, helping people who are currently going through the thing that you went through. I love helping entrepreneurs because I struggled so much as an entrepreneur. I felt worthless as an entrepreneur. I felt worthless as a human being when I was in my first business that was bringing no value, that was getting no results. I felt terrible, ashamed, embarrassed, alone. And that's why I do what I do. I want to help entrepreneurs not struggle as much as I struggled. That's my why. And your who and your why is for life. I want to believe in entrepreneurs. Why believe? I told you the story. Why entrepreneurs? I told you the story. I could believe in anybody, but entrepreneurs are going to be the people for me for life. For life. That never goes away. And that's more clarity than 99% of the world has. Just figuring out your who and your why is more clarity than most of the world. The last part is the how. Who, why, how. How becomes how you're going to help people get through it. So however you got through it, whatever you struggled with, that you made your way through, even if you're not fully through it yet, but you're better than when you were before, right? When you were in the hole, when you're at the worst moment of your life, the person who you are today could go back and talk to that person and give them some advice and help them. There's a lot of people who are currently in that situation that you were in. And how you got out of it is a recipe for other people. How did I get out of it? For me as an entrepreneur was modeling success, was looking at who else has built successful companies that I can copy, model, apply to my business. Bill Gates saved my company even though I've never met him because I looked at the strategies of how I went to 0 to 1. Now what have I done for the past 20 years? Share strategies from famous entrepreneurs on my website, now on my YouTube channel, on my Instagram. That's what I do. I love sharing my own voice and also DJing other people's content because I want to learn from Steve Jobs. I want to learn from Kanye West. I want to learn from Oprah. I want to learn from these people. And I want you to do too. And so the path that you took through isn't just this isolated incident. It becomes a recipe that other people can model as well, and you can teach it. Your how will evolve. Modeling success when I started was books. I was reading books, I was reading biographies. Now it's making YouTube videos. In 10 years, it might be virtual reality, your hologram Evan beaming into your room, right? It's gonna change. The how will change as technology evolves, but your who and your why are for life. And so if you don't feel like you're motivated, if you don't have the drive, if you don't know your mission, go through the process. Your who, your why, your how. Do it, take the time. It will revolutionize not just your business, but your life. And you're set up to follow that path for the rest of your life. So it's worth a 5, 10, 15, 60-minute session to sit down and try to figure it out.
Rule number 5, the last one before our very special bonus clip, create your own path.
I think too many people are trying to live someone else's path. You're trying to follow your parents' path. You're trying to be the next Michael Jordan or the next Wayne Gretzky or the next Steve Jobs. You're trying to be the next somebody else. Where if your goal is to be the next somebody else, you're always going to fall short. You can't out Steve. It's not happening. It's not going to be possible. So you will always fall short if you are trying to follow somebody else's path. The key is to create your own unique path. That's where you're going to stand out, and that's where the magic is going to happen. You already are unique. You already are the first and only version of you that will ever walk this planet. That has already happened. But you're not the best you yet. You're the unique you, you're the first you, but you're not the best you yet. And that's where you can pull from people. You can pull from Jobs, and you can pull from Gates, and you can pull from Winfrey, and you can pull from LeBron. You can pull from all these people to make you the best version of you and help you go off on your path. And it starts by understanding what your one word is, living your life on purpose, knowing what your values are, and having the self-awareness to create something that is important. And then by embracing the genius of the end, where the unique talents that you have get mashed up together in a way that nobody else can execute on. And it often comes by, I want to do this, or I want to do this, or I want to do this. And you've got 2 or 3 or 4 things that you don't know which direction to take. And the real answer is to smash all of those things together, because that's the unique thing that only you can do. Anybody can be a banker, anybody can be a salsa dancer, anybody can be a gamer, anybody can be a fill in the blank. But when you start combining those things together and then combine it with your one word, which is your value system, that's something that nobody else can do. It's something nobody else can touch. Now you're off creating your own path and being the best version of you. And that's where your ultimate success, happiness, wealth, and impact will come. Create your own path. You need to do things that make you proud of yourself. You need to do the difficult things. When it's hard and you do it and you try and you keep going, that's when you feel proud about yourself. When you quit early, even if everybody gives you a logical reason for doing it, say, hey, it's okay, don't worry about it, quit. You should quit. Take it easy. But you know deep down inside yourself, you can't quit. You have to do the work that makes you feel proud, because if you face difficulties and then quit, that's what you're teaching yourself. That's the story inside your head. And there's no way you're gonna go off and accomplish those big, bad, impossible dream goals of yours if you quit every time it gets hard. I had a guy come to my Columbus workshop, and he had a goal to do 6 days a week cold showers. It was Friday night. Saturday night was his day off from cold showers. It was Friday night he comes to my workshop and he says, it's been winter here in Columbus. I'm at my girlfriend's house all day today. It's been freezing. I've been inside the house. It's been freezing all day. I didn't do my cold shower today. Evan, what should I do? Should I take my cold shower? I said, well, are you proud of the reason why not? Are you proud of the reason that you're in a cold house all day and so that's good justification for you? He said, no, I'm not proud of the reason. Great, then you have to do it. You have to go take your cold shower. And after the workshop, he got home at 11:30 at night and he took an Instagram video from the waist up, getting into the cold shower and freezing his face off. And then I said, you have to go off and do it again tomorrow too. Even though Saturday's your day off, you have to get up and do it again tomorrow, just to show yourself, just to prove to yourself what you're made of. When it's difficult and you try, that's when you win. That's when you actually feel good about yourself, when it's difficult and you keep going. Even if the results suck, even if past the 40%, your results are starting to decline. You feel great about yourself because you kept going. But if you quit as soon as it gets hard, that's what you're teaching yourself to do. And so I see entrepreneurs and leaders as trees. You're a tree. Your responsibility as a tree is to eat poison, carbon dioxide, right? You eat poison. You eat it, you grow from it, and then you spit out positivity and oxygen for the people around you, right? For yourself and the people around you. You grow from it. Your job is to eat adversity. Your job is to eat judgment. Your job is to eat difficulties. And you grow from it. And then you create opportunities and possibilities for yourself and the people around you. That's your job. And so the next time that you find yourself in a difficult situation, you want to quit, you want to give up, you're at that mark, your brain wants to quit on you, remind yourself, I'm a tree. I'm a tree. I'm going to grow from this. This is my chance to get better. This is my chance to eat it, to grow from it, and then create possibilities for other people. That's your job if you want to be an amazing leader and an amazing entrepreneur. And I'm cheering for you.
Because you made it this far in a video, I want to celebrate you. Most people start and don't finish. Most people never actually follow through. Most people say they want something, but they don't ever do the work to actually get it. But you are different. You are special. Believe Nation, you made it here all the way to the end, and I love you. So as a special celebration, if you put a hashtag believe down in the comments below on this video, I will showcase you and celebrate you somewhere on the screen in a future video because you are awesome.
And learn why you need to stop surrounding yourself with negative people. Check out the video next to me. I think you're gonna enjoy. Continue to believe. I will see you there.
Whoever is more confident in their opinion on something, in their habits on something, is the one who wins and persuades and influences other people to join them.